One of the biggest struggles I see when it comes to routines is building consistency. And sometimes it feels like our vacation is going to ruin the flow that we have finally built at home. So, if you're struggling with this and you want to maintain the consistency of your routines, even while on vacation, then this episode is going to help.
Are you ready to stop the chaos, the stress, the overwhelm that's filling your life? I'm Renae Matt, and together you and I are going to build simple routines that are going to change your life. When you put these habits into practice, you're going to be able to organize your life in a way where you can be there for your family, pay off your debt, save money, your house can stay organized, you don't have to stress about what's for dinner, and you still get time for yourself. So without further ado, let's get started. Welcome to the Routine Advantage Podcast.
This was a great question that was brought up by Rhonda V in our Facebook community. And she said, "Hi, Renee. After a few weeks of being in a pretty good groove with my routines, we're heading for a trip cross country to visit family. Can you give me some tips on how to maintain some kind of order even while on the road? They seem to all go to pieces when I'm not at home." And I think this is a great question, and it was perfect timing for Rhonda to bring this up in the group because I actually have a vacation coming up with my husband and my sister and her husband, and we're all going on this big trip. And so I was actually already thinking about doing an episode like this. So it just ended up coming out at a perfect time. So before I get into my answer for this, I just want to say if you have not joined us in the free Facebook community yet, please do so if you are looking to connect with others, learn some different things in that group. It is completely free. And what I really like about it is that pinned at the top of the post or pinned at the top of the group is an episode library where you can click on it. It's a spreadsheet that opens up and you can use the search function to search keywords in any of the titles of all previous episodes. So it helps to just kind of filter through what you're looking for if you are looking for something specific as it relates to any of the routines or habits that we have in place. So if you want to come and join us there, it's at theroutineadvantagecommunity.com. And just make sure you answer any of the questions so that we don't deny you thinking that you are a spam account. So just answer the questions and then we'll make sure to get you added in there. But to answer Rhonda's question, I think this is really great, but I think there are a few things that we want to remember before I go into how to actually customize your routines to maintain the consistency while being away from home. So, the first thing I want to say is that when we're traveling, we can kind of go one way or the other. Some of us love to over plan and everything is just planned out to a T, and some of us don't want to plan anything. So it really kind of depends on how you function while on vacation and what your personality is. But whether or not you're a big planner or not, having the consistency of your routines can still help it feel really organized, I guess. And having your routines in place while away from home doesn't necessarily mean that you have everything planned out to a T. It just means that you feel like you have some semblance of order. And that is still going to allow you to enjoy the rest of your vacation. So the key is to not overplan everything to the point that your vacation is no longer enjoyable, but we can still plug in some of the structure while maintaining the flexibility. So we want to stick to our routines to not lose the consistency, but we also have to remember that they are very much edited while on vacation. So they are very customized to the vacation that we're on so that we can still have the consistency of the routine, but the routine itself might look different from what it does when we're at home. So now that we've covered that, I want to go over how you can customize your 5 foundational routines while away from home. So if you are new here, the 5 foundational routines to start are the basic routines that give your life order and they can be applied to anyone. And they are very customized to your life at home, but we customize them even more when we're away from home. So, the 5 foundational routines that we really want to focus on to just bring order to our life is number one, your morning routine. Number 2, your meal planning routine. 3 is your daily 7 home routine. 4 is your movement routine. And 5 is your budget routine. And like I said, these apply to everybody. And when you get these in place, you're going to feel way more organized and balanced at home. But we also want to bring these on the road with us. So now, obviously, it's going to depend on what type of vacation you have. When Rhonda had mentioned it, she said they're taking a trip across country. So I would imagine this is going to be on the road, like a road trip across country. And then once they get there, they're gonna be staying with family, I would imagine, or near family, so they're gonna be staying at one place and then getting back on the road again, but your vacation might look a little bit different. Maybe you're flying somewhere and then you're gonna be at a cabin all week, and that is your vacation. So it really just depends on how you wanna customize it to yourself, but we're gonna go through each of the 5 foundational routines and kinda talk about what I mean by customizing it from what we do at home. So, number 1, your morning routine, it doesn't necessarily have to look like your exact morning routine that you have already in place, but it could if you want it to. However, you want to look at what you want for your mornings while on vacation. So, what kind of mornings do you actually want to have? Are you planning on getting up before everybody else so you have this time for yourself? Or are you taking this time to sleep in because you never sleep in and you just want to do absolutely nothing in the morning because that is what is going to make you feel the best and make you really enjoy your vacation? Or are you the type of person that when you sleep in and your morning is gone, it makes you a little bit grumpy because you feel like most of your day is wasted and now you're feeling behind? So you have to decide how you feel about vacation. Maybe it's a balance of both. Maybe you have some days where you're sleeping in and you're choosing to sleep in, and then some days where you want to get up early and you want to have that coffee before anybody else gets up and you want the silence and the time alone, or you want to go for a morning walk, or you want to get up early and have some tea and visit with your mom. Like whatever you are trying to build into your mornings on vacation is totally fine, but I would recommend that they are intentional and that whatever you choose is going to be your version of being able to have the best day possible. You want to get your morning started in a way that you are going to appreciate. Number 2, the second routine is your meal planning routine. And in order to customize this one, you really want to have a rough idea of what your week or your vacation time, whether it's, a couple of days or maybe it's several weeks at a time, but you really want to have a rough idea of what that time is going to look like. If you're staying at an Airbnb or at a cabin and you're cooking all your own meals, you could probably pretty much stick to your typical routine to plan out your meal plan, shop once, get as much prep done right from the start. Maybe you arrive and you're kind of getting all that prep work done, or even you can do it ahead of time before you leave and stick it all in a cooler. And then it's going to make the rest of your time there a breeze because things are prepped, you have everything planned, and now all you have to do is just pull out what you need to make and you've got dinner planned every night. Maybe you're on a vacation where you are going out for dinner every night and you don't have to plan a thing for dinner, but you want to have some items on hand for maybe like a brunch or some quick lunches that are high protein that are kind of going to tide you over to your dinner plans. And that is what you want to focus on. So that's going to make your grocery shopping a lot easier or a lot different than if you're planning on cooking all of your own meals versus going out for a lot of the meals. Sometimes you might find that you're going out for everything and all you need to have are some handy snacks in your room or in your cabin or in your space that you're living in. It's going to completely depend on what type of vacation you have. The third routine is your daily 7 home routine. And again, you can stick to this, but you can do a customized version of it. So obviously, it's going to look a little different if you're in a hotel room versus a cabin or an Airbnb, but you can still have a simple routine to reset your space and make it feel really good in 30 minutes or less. Now, obviously, because we are in a new space, it might take a little bit of extra time the first time you do it because you're learning this new space and what flows the best, but find what is going to be the most efficient and get through it as quickly as possible. We don't want to be spending our vacation cleaning and feeling like we never left home, but we do want to live in a space that is comfortable and tidy while we're away from home. We don't want to just be lounging around in a pigsty. So we want to be able to reset the space as quickly as possible, and keeping a daily 7 home routine that is customized to your space is going to help with this. So think about doing a really quick reset and make the bed, straighten up your living space, clean up the mess of makeup and hair in the bathroom, whatever you need to do. Just choose like 7, or maybe not even all 7, but choose 7 reset tasks that are going to help your space feel really good. Find the flow that works in that space to do it in as quick of time as possible. And then number 4, the 4th routine is your movement routine. And this is so important because even on vacation, we want to be moving our bodies. Otherwise, we're going to start to feel really fatigued and groggy when we're not moving around. So we wanna get up, we wanna move around, but we can choose what kind of movement we want. Maybe you're somebody that uses the gym at the hotel, and that's what makes you feel good. So you wanna get up and work out before you get back on the road. Maybe you are just going for a morning walk, or maybe it's an evening walk after dinner. Maybe you're going on a hiking trail at a local park. Maybe you're just shopping all day long and you're getting tons of steps in, and that is the movement you are wanting to focus on. You can decide what you want to do, but I would encourage you to make sure that you're plugging in some type of movement at some point throughout your day. And then the 5th routine is your budget routine, because the stress of finances can ruin a good vacation. So we really want to stick to our budget routine, but it might look a little bit different. Instead of budgeting all of our normal finances, maybe it's a little bit customized and it's focused just on vacation because you took care of bills and everything like that when you were before you left. And now all we have to do is focus on the budget that we have for the vacation, and then tracking our expenses to see how much we have remaining, because that's going to guide your decisions on where you go. Maybe you're going to choose a little bit cheaper place to eat because you're running a little bit lower on finances, and you can still work it in if you go with, a little bit less cost when it comes to certain restaurants. Or maybe you still have a good chunk of your vacation budget left and you want to splurge and you want to go a little fancy, then you can do that and you can feel good about it, rather than having no idea of how much money you've spent or where you're at, and then being stressed about it until you get home and find out that you way overspent. We don't want to be doing that. We want to enjoy our vacation. And in order to do that, we still need to be informed of where we're at with our money. So, taking all 5 of these customized foundational routines to our vacation trip is going to look a little bit different. So, I wanted to kind of walk you through a couple of different scenarios to make it a little bit more understandable, I guess, and to not have so many ideas out there. So I broke it down into a road trip and then like a cabin or an Airbnb trip. And obviously there are a lot more different types of vacations than this, but this hopefully will give you a little bit more of an idea of how you can take the routines that you have already built and customize them to something that is going to work while you're away from home. And this could even be a weekend away, it could be time away that you are away for a month, it could be anything that works for you if you're wanting to maintain the consistency of your routines while you're away from home. So let's focus on the road trip first, like, because I believe that is what Rhonda was talking about, is a road trip. So let's say this is the road trip. So maybe your morning routine looks like taking time for a hot cup of coffee before you get on the road. Make sure you are brushing your hair and you take time to put on a little bit of makeup so that you feel really good before you get back on the road, if this is your thing. So that's an idea of making sure that you take time for a morning routine. You're not just getting up and it's all chaos and everything is going crazy. You're carving out this time for the morning. And then meal planning, maybe it means focusing on having a nutritious breakfast, whether it is you're going out, maybe it's the continental breakfast and you can choose nutritious choices hopefully there. Maybe it's packing your own in a cooler. It's packing some high protein snacks in the car and some things that are going to keep you awake and not make you feel really sluggish. And then it's making a plan to stop for dinner to be able to get out, stretch your legs, and maybe that's the plan that you have for your meal planning routine is eating your nutritious breakfast, packing some snacks for the car, and then stopping for dinner each night. For your daily 7 home routine, this is basically taking time to reset your space. Now, if you're on a road trip, you're likely staying at hotels and then you are leaving them right after the first night. So you don't necessarily have to continue living in that space. So it's up to you what you want to do there. If you're staying there for a couple of days, then you're going to want to have some sort of reset routine in your hotel space to get it reset really quickly so you're not living in a mess. But if you are just stopping for one night and you're getting back on the road, you can kind of focus your vehicle as your living space, kind of. So you want to make sure you have a plan to reset your vehicle every day, at least once a day, because a vehicle is a very small space to reset and it can get really messy really quickly if we're not careful. So, for sure, at the first gas station stop each day, you want to make sure that you're resetting the space. You get up, you get out, you stretch your legs, you get rid of any trash, you're straightening any blankets or travel pillows, you restock the ice in the cooler, you put away any, on the road games or books or whatever and you're resetting the space. And ideally, you want to make sure you're doing this on the first stop each day to kind of start your day fresh. But ideally, you want to do this at every gas station stop. Every time you're stopping, get out, stretch your legs, and reset your space because it's going to feel so much better as you get on the road and getting all of the trash out and getting everything reset while you're in that space. And then your movement routine might look like just getting out and taking a 5-minute walk every time you stop. Get the blood flowing again. Make sure that you are feeling good and energized again before you hop back in the car. Because even just taking 5 minutes, it's not taking a ton of time out of your trip, but it is going to make a big difference in how you feel and how stiff you are the next time you get out of the car. And then your budget routine might look like just making sure you know how much you have for this trip and then track your expenses at each stop so that you know that you can deduct that from your travel budget and you always know exactly how much you have left to spend for the rest of your trip. And this is just going to give you an idea of how much you have remaining so that you know where you can splurge a little bit and where you need to maybe cut back a little bit. And that's going to help. So these are ways that you can just customize it for a road trip. And then when you get back home, you can go right back into your normal routines in these 5 areas. Now, instead of a road trip, let's look at a cabin or like an Airbnb trip. Might look a little bit different, obviously, because we're not going to be traveling in a vehicle and stopping at hotel rooms. This is gonna be staying at a place that is probably a little bit bigger, maybe more like a home size, or it's going to be a little bit longer too. Maybe you're staying for a week and you need some sort of order and balance there because you don't want everything to fall apart. And then when you get home, you kind of are out of the habit of doing these things. You want to continue doing them, but you still want to feel like you're on vacation and you're actually enjoying and relaxing and having a good time. So at a cabin or an Airbnb, this might be something a little bit more that you're looking for. So maybe your morning routine is making sure that you have your coffee set up and you go out on the porch in the morning. Maybe it's over the sunrise and you grab a nice cozy blanket and you are overlooking the lake and you take a book with you and you're reading. Or maybe you're bringing your Bible with you and you take this time as prayer time. And that is how you want to be spending each of your mornings. Or maybe your spouse gets up early with you and you guys are just focusing on having some coffee on the porch, all snuggled up. And that is your time together because that's how you're wanting to spend your morning. Or, like I said before, maybe you're choosing some days to sleep in and just stay in bed because you don't do that at home. So you have to decide what you want to do here. For meal planning, maybe you want to alternate the days with a big, cabiny breakfast where you're doing eggs and bacon and pancakes and all the things. And then on some mornings, you're just keeping it simple with yogurt parfaits. And you're just going to flip flop those throughout the week. Maybe for lunches, you're focusing on just super simple sandwiches and fruit. And then at night, you've got a grill, access to a grill. So you want to do grilling at night with some side salads. So that is going to keep it really simple. You can plan this all out ahead of time. You can plan your meals. You can prep the produce either ahead of time and throw it in coolers and get there and just throw it in the fridge, or you can have all of your groceries, get them there, do a little prep work the first day, and it doesn't have to take all day. It can literally take 30 minutes to just get everything prepped and in the fridge. So it's going to make the rest of the week flow so smooth because everything is ready to go. And then maybe on your meal plan, you add a few additional cabiny snacks. Like maybe you're adding in some cheese and crackers so that you can have a snack during board games, or you throw in s'more makings for campfire nights and things like that. So that is also on your list, but everything is kind of planned out. You've got it all arranged. You don't have to stop for any additional groceries, and you don't have any stress of trying to figure out what to make for dinner, even though you're cooking everything at the cabin while you're there. For your daily 7 home routine, this might look very similar to your home routine when you're at home, but it is a little bit customized because it's a new space. So stick to your 7 priority reset tasks if they apply to the same space. So if your daily 7 home routine at home is to make the bed, gather the laundry, reset your living space, wipe down the bathrooms, reset the dishes and wipe down the counters in the kitchen, sweep or vacuum the floors, and then throw in a load of laundry, then stick to that if that works in the space you're in, and just do it as quickly as possible. Maybe you have to adjust the flow because the space is set up a little bit different, so maybe you need to reorganize the order in which you're doing things. But if you have a washing machine on site and you're planning on doing laundry while you're there, this works great to just keep your reset routine and just run through it each day to reset your space, and you're going to stay on top of things. The cabin is going to remain tidy, and you can very quickly do this without it feeling overwhelming. And then for your movement routine, maybe your plan is to go on a hike each day because you're in a beautiful area that has a lot of hiking trails. Or maybe you want to focus on taking a walk around the lake each day, or go to a local park and explore, and that is your movement for the day. Maybe you are on a lake and you have access to a dock, and your movement for the day is to get out there and swim. Like you can do so many different things for movement while on vacation. You just have to decide how you're choosing to move your body while you're out. And then your budget routine is going to look very similar. You're going to have your vacation budget, keep track of all of your expenses, and then deduct it from your travel budget so you know how much you have remaining. So there are so many different ways that you can customize your 5 foundational routines while on vacation. You can do this at campsites, you can do it at destination trips, wherever you're going. You can customize your 5 foundational routines to keep the consistency, but still remain flexible so that you can truly enjoy your time away from home. The most important thing is to remember to enjoy your vacation. Even though consistency is really hard with routines, a lot of it is also mindset. And we have to remember that if we choose not to maintain our routines while on vacation, then that is still a choice that is still okay to make. And if we want to do that and we want to step away and we want to do absolutely nothing that is routine based and we don't need any semblance of order, and we're okay with a little bit of chaos on vacation because that's part of the journey, then that's okay. You can still take a break and get home and pick up your routines where you left off, because taking a break is not failing at maintaining consistency. It's literally just taking a break. And it's okay if you choose to do that, if that's what you're wanting to do. And it's also okay to maintain your routines if you're wanting to take them with you while on vacation and just customize them to what works for you in that space. So I would encourage you, no matter what you choose in this area, to be happy with your choice and be confident with your choice and know that when you get home, you can go back to your routines because you can reset as soon as you choose to reset. So I hope that you enjoy your vacation. I hope you have a wonderful time, and I hope that this was helpful. If you have any questions, you can pop them in our group. I gave you that link earlier. You can also contact me, or you can see all of the resources at reneemat.com, and I will catch you back here on the next episode.
Did you love that episode or learn something useful? If so, would you do me a huge favor? My goal is to grow this podcast and help as many women as I can break free from the overwhelm so they can truly enjoy their life. The best way for me to do this is for you to leave a 5-star written review on your podcast app and to share this episode with a friend or in your Instagram stories. I appreciate you being here. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you on the next episode. Take care.